Good afternoon, everybody. It's January 21, 2024. I think it's Sunday. It's absolutely beautiful outside, even though we have a ridiculous temperature. It was 1 degree when I woke up this morning, bitterly cold, covered in snow. It doesn't look like the way Kentucky should be, but hey, they're modifying the weather on demand, and they can coat any portion of any property they want blanketed in snow. Yeah, the one good thing is that the criminals aren't driving back and forth because, the county bridge, the little bridge here, it's icy. And even the little creek behind my house is icy. And I'm going to take a video of the vandalism that they did to the bank. I'm going to call it a bank, the edges of the creek behind my house. The creek, the river, the stream. I just noticed it today. I have posted some of the other vandalism where they've actually dug out a portion of the bank, but didn't leave, of course, any of the debris, which would be if it, in fact, fell down on its own. If it eroded on its own, I would have a pile of soil. I would have a pile of rock. But no, it's just completely dug out. They stole the dirt, stole the rock, and they did the same thing near a tree that I'm going to videotape it, show you guys. I actually videotaped the tree. What they did, they etched the letter M as an MK Ultra in the tree. And then when I had that tree cut down, part of the M disappeared into the letter V as in Vendetta, the Freemason Loser Club. We actually have 3 groups of Freemason Loser Clubs around here. And that's what they do. And yeah, they hide in the shadows. They don't want you to see who they are. And of course, if I'm asleep, I don't have eyes behind my head when I'm asleep. And of course, they put you to sleep with radio frequency. So even if you wanted to wake up, even if you heard something, they would prevent you from waking up. And that is how stealth and how disgusting this technology is. And they don't want you to know about the technology. And this is not just for targeted people, because the whole world is targeted. All you homesteaders out there, all you farmers out there, we already know what's going on with the farming. Look what they did with the Amish guy, Amos. They raided his farm. The feds raided his farm to confiscate his raw milk from his cows, because he was selling it to his subscribers, the local people. Oh no, can't do that. It's healthier. It doesn't have all those chemicals. Oh yeah, the FDA isn't involved in it. So yeah, they had to confiscate all of his milk products, everything and some of his produce, everything that he gardened this year. They had to shut him down, steal his food. This is his livelihood. This is an Amish man. If they could do it to the Amish, they're coming for you guys. They're already coming for me. They've taken down my berry trees. They're cutting up my elderberry tree. They cut down a fig tree. And now they're going after my water. They were going after my water since May of 2022. Perhaps before, but I just didn't notice it. Yeah. They've been literally draining the swamp, siphoning the water. The water belongs to me. It's on my property. If you want it, go get it for your own self. That's the benefit of having a property like mine. Unlike some of the other properties around here that don't have the types of 4 or 5 water sources that are actually on this property, which is a benefit to this property, which is why I love it for those reasons. And that's why it will sell. But what they're doing to the creek behind my house is a crime. It's a reportable crime. I'm just going to document it. And I'm going to compile all of this, because this is going further than the local government. Local government does nothing. They're all the go along to get along losers. It's part of the loser club. They know what's going on. I remember when I moved here, My neighbor diagonally across hadn't moved in yet. They were still working on their house. But I remember back then, a deputy was hanging out there surveilling my property. Well, that deputy is now the new sheriff. Of course he knows what's going on. All the sheriff's departments around the country know what's going on. This is why, I think in some instances it's futile to sue the federal government. I think sometimes you got to start a little bit lower. I think there should be lawsuits around the country suing the sheriff's department who take an oath. They're supposed to protect and serve everybody. They are the law of the land, and they are violating all the laws. In addition to the fact that we all know that wherever a targeted person resides, the crime rate increases exponentially, but it's not being reported or documented. So it never appears in your state statistics. It never appears in the crime statistics when you go onto Google or Wikipedia, where it documents the crime rates in your area, so that when you go to look for a home, you can see what the crime rates are. Wherever a targeted person lives, and there are millions of us around the country, none of those crimes are documented. They're not documented publicly. They're not acknowledged. And when I say that crime increases exponentially around the target, it's not the target victim that's creating the crime. It's the people around them. Vandalism, trespassing, illegal entry, poisoning, stealing, pet abuse, animal abuse, torture. These are all federal crimes. They should be prosecuted. These people should be hung. People should be imprisoned and fined. But no, we are the criminals. Oh yeah, it's called counterterrorism. Yeah. Pre-crime. Yeah, they're into prediction. I thought that predicting the future was hocus pocus. They're always discrediting psychics, right? But hey, police department, they know how to predict crime because they're programming the AI. Well, let's see how that works out. But anyway, I wanted to bring something to your attention. I'm on an alert. There's certain publishers, certain authors that I follow. And on Amazon, if you purchase a book, you can then follow that author. So I've been following the author Mark M. Rich. And he's got a new book out, and I'll read to you what the new book is that's out. And I think that you'd be interested in this new book, okay? It's called The New World War, Revolutionary Methods for Political Control by Mark M. Rich. It's dated, it's a paperback, January 8th, 2024. It costs $27.99, and you do earn points on Amazon if you want to download future books. So I'll read to you what this is about. This book is about a silent war is taking place in cities all over the planet. It is covered up by the media, mental health system, NGOs, and our elected officials. Now that the financial elite are finished using the U.S. military and allied forces to conquer nations in their quest for global domination, they're neutralizing individuals and groups of resistors who live among the people. To do this, they have recruited a major portion of the civilian population, which is used as a surrogate force to persecute those who have been identified as enemies. As part of the same agenda, the security forces are conducting psychological operations on civilians and torturing them with directed energy weapons. The entire operation is in service to some very wealthy psychopaths who rule our society as part of a global revolution intended to result in a planetary dictatorship known as the New World Order. So all of those people that they're employing, the civilian population, being used as a surrogate to persecute those who have been identified as enemies. Well, who are they? They're being recruited to perform crimes, federal crimes. And the people being identified as enemies are called targeted individuals, non-investigative subjects on the watch list, many lists. My favorite Bureau of Investigation has many, many, many lists, some of which we probably are not even aware of. The ACLU published a document in 2016 called Trapped in a Black Box, Growing Terrorism Watch Listing and Everyday Policing. Imagine that. Police state. And their research was phenomenal. It was a compilation of information received from Freedom of Information reports, FOIA requests of my favorite Bureau of Investigation. However, the FBI never completed that request. They only provided them with information from 2006 to 2008. Imagine that. 2006 to 2008. But based upon that small portion of FOIA information, the ACLU published that report stating that based upon the 2006 and 2008 statistics, 900,000 people were on some list. And once you get on a list, you don't get off. You just get shuffled from list to list to list. There is no due process, no vetting, no oversight. Sometimes people have the exact same name as somebody else, but they're on the list anyway. Can't get their name off. So imagine if there were 900,000 people, based upon statistics from 2006 to 2008. Could you imagine how many more people on that list? It is estimated, and this is just a number that's being thrown out there. During recent congressional hearings, one congressional person testified that, yes, there were 2 million searches of the FISA 702 database. 2 million? But he didn't say when those were. He didn't say if that was annual, monthly, cumulative, just that there were 2 million searches of the database. Didn't say what year it was. Just 2 million searches. Well, that's a crock of BS. We know that there are a minimum of 4 million innocent people identified as quote-unquote enemies. Oh, yes, we're enemies. And 70% of them are women. Oh, yeah, women are enemies. Women are enemies. And children are enemies. Children. Oh, and parents that attend board meetings. Oh, and, if you voted for the wrong person, you're an enemy. And if you go against some bizarre movement that's going on to change your sex, you're an enemy also. If you speak out against the big pharma, you're an enemy. Oh, if you're interracial, you're an enemy. I mean, the list is endless. If you're really highly intelligent, like if you've got a high IQ, if you can think for yourself, oh, you're definitely an enemy. And if you don't shut up and you speak out like me, oh, well, I'm an enemy on many lists. Just like you guys. Yeah, we're all enemies. The real criminals, though, are these wealthy psychopaths who rule our society and the civilian population they recruit to persecute those that they identify as an enemy. When we all well know that the crimes that are being committed directly against us, these people who are performing these crimes think that they'll never be prosecuted. Think again. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world A lot of geoengineering, a lot of weather modification. Horrible stuff. I mean, look at what's going on here in Kentucky. It's crazy. I didn't move to Kentucky for snow. It's usually very temperate here. It's usually very hot in the summertime, very humid. Water everywhere dripping, very humid. But not snow. You know, a couple of inches of snow, but not a foot. Not a foot of snow in a week. Not 1 degree temperatures. This is not the first time we've had 1 degree temperatures in the last week. We've had no mail delivery, no mail pickup, no garbage pick. It's been 2 weeks since trash has been picked up. 2 weeks. But the thing is, you're not even notified. It's one thing, like, I remember living in New Jersey. Of course, it's very different. You know, you're paying high property taxes. You get what you pay for, so to speak. But if trash were not being picked up, you would know about it everywhere. You'd get a text message on your phone. It would be on their Facebook page. Well, the only one that created a Facebook page for this town was me. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? All the people around here, oh, they whine and whine. Oh, I've lived here for 30 years. I've lived here for 20 years. Okay, so what have you guys done for this community? What have you actually done? It took a New Jersey girl, actually a New York girl, to move here, to create a Facebook page for the town. None of you guys did. And what about the man who lived here for 30 years that everybody allegedly adored? Nobody had a page for him. Nobody had a memorial page for him. I set up the memorial page for him last year. And not one person here who claims to have adored him and loved him has ever posted anything about him, positive or negative. They couldn't wait to get their greedy little paws on anything that he had, though, including attempting to steal my land across the street. I can't tell you how many people contacted me when I moved here, not to welcome me, but to say, oh, well, we gave him this. Do you still have it? I kid you not. I kid you not. That's how greedy and disgusting the people are here. Entitled. They think that if somebody buys somebody's property, that they're entitled to something that they gifted to the former owner. It baffles the mind. But anyway, that's a little rant for today. This book is called The New World War, Revolutionary Methods for Political Control. It's a paperback. January 8, 2024 by Mark M. Rich. And I'll read it again. A silent war is taking place in cities all over the planet. It's covered up by the media, mental health system, NGOs, and our elected officials. Now that the financial elite are finished using the U.S. military and allied forces to conquer nations in their quest for global domination, they're neutralizing individuals and groups of resistors who live among the people. To do this, they have recruited a major portion of the civilian population, which is used as a surrogate force to persecute those who have been identified as enemies. As part of the same agenda, the security forces are conducting psychological operations on civilians and torturing them with directed energy weapons. The entire operation is in service to some very wealthy psychopaths who rule our society, as part of a global revolution intended to result in a planetary dictatorship known as the New World Order. And I will attest to the fact that I've been targeted at a minimum since 2012. I can't even imagine what they identified back in 2012 as me being some kind of enemy. Rescuing cats? Going to school? Raising a daughter? You're kidding me. Oh, I guess that's all bad stuff, yeah. But it is when there are jealous, envious people that want to take you out. And once again, psychopaths, if we're going to divide up the population between the psychopaths and the empaths, the people that care about society, the people who can promote good things in society, who want the best for society and people who care about animals and children and other people, the planet, trees. You're dividing it up between the psychopaths and the empaths. We don't think the same way. Psychopaths look at us as people, as things to use. One psychopath, a professed psychopath, narcissist, says that we're nothing but tools. We're animals to them. So because they think differently than we do, we will never convince them that they are wrong in their thought processes. So people need to wake up. Now, I'm not getting anything for reading this book. I'm not affiliated with Mark Rich. I'm not getting any kickbacks, nothing. I'm just reading this because I think that the book might be interesting. I haven't purchased it yet. If it were a little less costly, I might, stick it in my basket here. But the book is, let me just read the back of it. Let me see if I can expand this. Oh no, it's the exact same thing. But the book is, let me see how long it is here. He's got it. It's 424 pages, and the ISBN 13 is 979-886-967-2650. It's independently published. It's in English. It's 2.65 pounds, and the dimensions are 8.5 by 1 inch, 1.06 by 11 inches. So anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. I'm going to sign off for now. I hope everybody's having a good day, and please hit the thumbs up. And if you're interested in this book, share it with your family and friends. Sounds like a good book. I would like to buy it. But anyway, if anybody does purchase it, want to provide a review, I'd love to hear about it. Signing off for now.